casting seat with this gentleman. As was just mentioned, he's the Pezz killer himself. And he's going to be joining me here for this next PvP. Get some inside Protoss knowledge. So how you feeling, man? You excited to cast?
Yeah, I'm quite excited. I've I did play Pezz before, so his PvP is quite strong. I played Pigeon also, that's how I lost. So they're both PvPs quite good, so it should be a good PvP.
Yeah, should be interesting. We've had a fair bit of diverse play. I've seen a lot of DTs. Thank you. So we'll see if these guys actually decide to whip out some strange tactics themselves, or if they're going to play more straight up. At least Pezz, he's already had a pretty good warm-up in terms of PvP against you. And I believe Pezz is just coming off a win against NXZ, so he should be nice and warmed up as well. Anyway, without further ado, let's hop into the map. We are here on Catalina. And in the bottom right-hand side of the map, spawning as the blue Protoss, he's Divine, and he is Pezz. And in the left-hand side of the map, spawning as the red Protoss, representing Trick or Treat, it's Pigeon. All right, so we've got a PvP on a pretty large map. This map's been pretty popular throughout the tournament for all matchups, I think. If you're playing on this map, what do you reckon you would do?
Well, against Pezz, I think I just open up DT. So I'd probably either DT pretty good. I either DT or Stargate, just because Stargate you can hide a Stargate everywhere, and DTs you can also hide pylons around the map. So either DT or Stargate out of these two, or maybe a Robo first into expand.
Yep. All right, so they do have a few options. I'm not too sure of these guys' playstyles. We've seen that Pezz is able to play a fast game or quite a long game, so he seems to have a lot of stuff covered, but at the same time, Pigeon has been shown as quite a well-versed player himself. He's already taken out a fair few big names, and this is like his first tournament in Australia. This is maybe his first big tournament. I don't know how much experience he's had over in China. But he's shown a fair few strong two-base plays as well, so I wonder if that might come into play here at all.
Yeah, but out of Pigeon here, we're probably going to see a one-base play, as he has gone 10 gate.
Yeah.
So he's going to probably follow it up with 2 more gates, stay on the 1 gas, and pretty much it's a complete all-in. So
yeah, that is a very early gate, and in fact we haven't seen this yet out of any of the players, so PvP can be quite brutal like this. Pigeon did just get scouted by Pezz though, so well, Pezz is pretty clued in, and let's see how he reacts. He's already coming up here, just perhaps for a proxy pylon later on. I mean, there's nothing to see here at this point. He's just going to prepare himself for what's going to be coming at him. So what's the appropriate reaction from Pezz here?
There's 2 ways you can go about it. You can either add a second gateway and go into many stalkers, or you can do my favorite and just open DT.
Yeah, I think the crowd liked that one. So we'll see if he takes a page out of your book and goes DT. He's certainly warmed up in the ways of the Dark Templar today. But yeah, he may just go for the Stalker kind of base play as well. All right, so he's chronoing out a sentry into his heart's content. Hopefully he can buy himself some time here. 1 probe still sticking on the left-hand side of the map. And, well, only time will tell how successful this is for Pigeon. Now, what kind of damage does he have to do with this?
He pretty much has to kill Pezz, because Pezz should have a Robo coming up soon, or he should either just go, he's going to go 3 gates, but he will have the double gas, so he's walling off too, so he has a big advantage in the gas income, plus he should have tech income, so Pigeon has to pretty much kill Pezz here.
Right. I'm not sure how good it's looking. I mean, it's going to take for quite a while for him to be able to even get up the ramp, considering that he's blocked off. There's also a sentry there to buy even more time if need be. Although the Stalker is able to poke at those sentries with the ramp vision being provided by that Zealot there.
This is actually good defense by Pezz. He's put 2 pylons and a gateway. He's got 2 sentries still building on the way, so he'll probably build another sentry, or he's going to build a Stalker. So he has 5 sentries, and Warp Gate will finish. But the only thing I'm worried about is the follow-up of Pezz. What tech is he going to go? Stargate or Robo? It should be a Robo, but we'll see.
Yeah, we'll see. I mean, how long till Pigeon gives up here? Like, does he have any hope of a transition? If he just can't get up this ramp, if he can't do any damage, do you reckon he just GG's out or tries to stretch the game out? I mean, you did say it's all in. but is there any hope is what I'm trying to get at.
There is a little bit of hope. Depends what Pezz is going to do. As you can see, Pezz has got the pylon on the other side of the map, but Pigeon has caught up in probes. He's got full saturation on his gases and his main, so he can catch up now. He just, nice catch there. He should lose a, he's going to lose a sentry here though.
Yeah,
that
he does.
hurts.
Almost loses a second. That one's very low. He could actually get it. Oh, not quite micros it back. Stalker does go down, but there's the big warp in, and Pigeon no doubt sees that. It's going to be a bit of a worry for him because he's got 3 Stalkers to 4 and a bunch of sentries. So there's the Nexus going down, but Pezz, he knows all about that.
And it looks like it's probably going to be Blink or DT. Most likely Blink, just because Pigeon will have no tech follow-up. He's just going to have gateway units, and that's pretty much it. So I think Pezz going for Blink here is a good choice, and he does notice the Nexus, so he does know what Pigeon's up to.
Oh no, he doesn't know about the pylon at all. I thought he would have seen it by now. But here comes some Zealots into the main base. Is the sentry paying attention? Yes, it is. So he can probably just nibble away at that Nexus in the meantime, because the units are still all the way over the other side of the map, although he does warp in a couple of Zealots to help him out with the defense here.
Yeah, it's a good hold, and I like what Pigeon's doing. He's camping the ramp of Pezz, so Pezz can't get out. And, oh wow, good force hits by Pezz. Losing a few units here.
Yeah, does lose that last sentry there.
This is where Pigeon should really go home soon. He has no need to stay there. He doesn't have enough army. And even them 2 Stalkers getting down and the pylon warp on the low ground, it's not good for Pigeon. So Pigeon should just go home. There's no need to stay there anymore.
Yeah, it looks like he's taking your advice here. Heading back towards his natural expansion. He's going to have to try as hard as he can to defend that, because, I mean, he's taken a risk here getting that expansion. Is he going to be able to keep it with the blink attack that's going to be coming from Pezz? He's already heading back across the map as soon as he's allowed to leave. And, well, the first Immortal's not too far from coming out here. It will be ready by the time the Stalkers of Pezz arrive at the front door. So if he can keep that alive, he will hopefully be looking okay, but it's still going to be tough.
Yeah, most definitely. If he can crone out a second Immortal, and Pezz overextends here and gets caught with a few Stalkers, Pigeon could actually be in a good shape. 2 Immortals versus, I don't know, let's say 6 to 8 Stalkers is actually quite good, but Pigeon's actually getting attacked here by Pezz. Pezz moving in. And Photon overcharging, Pezz will move out here and wait for Blink.
Buying himself a bit more time for that extra Immortal is Pigeon. Smart move. I'm sure he'd love that to be damaging some more units while he has to engage, but alas, he does have to buy that extra time. And Pezz, he's looking pretty good right now. He's got a lot of units out on the map. I guess his main goal here is to try and get rid of those Immortals, because without the Immortals, this really isn't a scary force at all for him. And Blink is just finishing up now, so here's his window. 2 more Stalkers warping in behind this. Let's see how his Blinks go. So far, so good. The force fields, yep, they do push him back, buying even more time for the 3rd Immortal.
This is actually getting dangerous for Pezz. Here he's going to have a 3rd Immortal out soon, and if he doesn't actually do heaps of damage here, killing an Immortal or 2, you could actually lose. Good Blinks here.
There you go, but another 2 force fields go down, and it segments off the army again, forced back, and the 3rd Immortal's going to be in here for the next attacks. Up again. Is that kind of his last chance to really get anything done? I mean,
this is his last attack here. If he doesn't kill or damage Pigeon here, this could actually be lights out for Pezz. Does not have an expo, but Pezz is doing a lot of damage. Good force field here, stopping the Immortals. This is really good for Pezz. He should really be focusing that Immortal that was on the other side, but he pulled out.
Yeah, the Nexus cannon going off there again, doing some extra damage to those. Pezz is going to be feeling a little bit hot under the collar at the moment. He doesn't have an expansion. He's behind on probes at this point, and the Immortals are doing a great job. Will he be able to pull it off this time? Another Immortal being targeted down and a huge blink backwards. I think he's decided that he just can't really get in here at this point, but he's got to keep going with it. Yeah,
he's completely all in. He's unlucky to snipe that Immortal there, so that's really unlucky. But this will be the last attack by Pezz, and Pezz is going in. He's not blinking as well as he should have. He's blinking too many at a time. Maybe he should. I think he's just under pressure at the moment. He knows that he is completely all in. But there's 5 Immortals now against, I don't know, it's about 15 Stalkers there. So 5 Immortals will just, 18 Stalkers, so he's going to get shredded.
In fact, it looks like Pezz just wants to sit out here and try and take his own Nexus at the natural expansion. It's going to be late. He's going to be really far behind. And if Pigeon actually catches wind of this, he's going to have a sick army to push out with. But luckily, the mobility of those Blink Stalkers might be able to give Pezz a bit of an advantage in terms of just maneuvering around that army, trying to stop him from actually coming at him. I guess we'll see what happens. Pigeon's getting a bit brave already, trying to see what's actually at the front here.
Yeah, most definitely. It looks like Pigeon's going to go Blink as well, because Blink is actually quite kind of annoying. If you have Immortals and you push across the map, you want to have Blink, so if your opponent has Blink, which Pezz does, he can Blink back into his base and defend with Blink Stalkers against Blink Stalkers. So it looks like Pigeon is going to move out here, and Pezz cannot lose any units here.
Yeah, he blinks almost straight away. It's a bit rough for him. His blinks have been very panicked this game, I think, especially once the Immortal count started rising there, because he's just like, oh my goodness, so much damage on the front line there. I really can't get a foot in the door. So he's had to back right up at this point, and Ob's coming out for Pigeon, who'll give him some scouting, but also some maneuverability with his own Blink Stalkers if he gets those eventually. But for now, he's actually going for the charge first.
Yeah, most definitely. Charge pretty much destroys Stalkers. If you have no charge on your Stalkers and they got Blink, you can like kite Zealots for days, but Zealot charge is a good choice. Looks like he's going to go up to 6 to 7 Immortals and just push with a Zealot Archon army. He's going to probably add gates here. I don't think Pezz... it's going to be really hard for Pezz to come back. He's going to have to take a really, really good fight against Pigeon and get some really good blinks and force fields. Otherwise, this is going to be a really difficult game for Pezz to come back.
Yeah. So what is Pezz going to have to do here to be able to contend with this army? Because we already see it has a huge number of Immortals. There's 5 in there already, a 6th one about to pop, and then there's going to be the added beef of the Archons in there. Like, do you think there's a scenario where Pezz is able to take the next engagement?
If Pigeon is not watching his army and he gets caught out, he could lose an Immortal or 2, which could actually really help Pezz. But Pezz has only got Stalkers against like Immortals, Archons, and Charge Lots that will be coming. So it's going to be very difficult. Pezz just has to catch Pigeon out, and Pigeon not looking at his army and controlling it. So
yeah, Immortal Archon compositions definitely hit some of the hardest timings, I think, on 2 bases out of all strategies. It's just so bulky, and he's actually going to move down the ramp here. Pezz blinks away going, oh my goodness, that's so many Immortals. He doesn't really want anything to do with that, but he also doesn't want him to move out, so he's going to try and tickle some of the Stalkers at the front here and keep darting back and forwards. He has threatened a number of times to try and blink from the 3rd into the main there, which has kind of been a bit of a bother for Pigeon, but so far no damage done there, and it looks like this is the timing that he finally gets to move out on the map and pay Pezz a visit.
yeah. I'm actually confused what Pezz is doing. He's gone Storm against a really heavy Immortal comp. I guess for the Charge Lots it's good, but Storm I don't think is a good choice here. He should have maybe made a few Archons with that gas.
Yeah, that's weird. I expected Archons as well. I mean, maybe with this many Immortals, are Archons really that worth it? He's not going to be able to make that many.
Well, like, I don't think Storm's going to do enough damage for him to actually kill that army.
True.
So he's going to need at least some tanky units. He has like no Archons at all. He has like 2 Immortals and the rest Stalkers. He can force field that ramp for like 2 times before Pigeon can get up, but Pigeon just has 50 supply army, and he can probably Warp Prism the main soon, which he is getting a Warp Prism, and it can actually catch Pezz out of position.
Now, did that yeah, okay, I thought he did. He already put the Nexus Cannon on, which is a bit premature. I mean, Pigeon hasn't exactly come up here just yet. It will help out now, though, and there's the first Storm on the ramp. A great Storm, but as Frustration mentioned, not doing much damage at all. The Templar going to the front lines. Archon's trying to morph as well, but there is so much firepower here from Pigeon, and he is just chomping through a lot of these Stalkers. Archon's caught at the back, though, so some of these units are having a bit of trouble, but the Zealots come in and close the distance between the Stalkers, and I think this might just be GG for Pezz.
Yeah, just a few too many Immortals, and that's GG.
Yeah, GG. Pigeon will take the 1-0 lead here. Pretty straight up game. 10-gate aggression really didn't do anything, but he has a good follow-up. I've seen this a number of times in Pigeon's games. He always has a plan B, all in or not. Like he's had a couple of all-ins that have failed, and he's always had a secondary attack plan behind it. So I think that's definitely one of the strengths in his play.
Yeah, most definitely. Off a 10-gate, there's pretty much only one thing you can do is expand, because you have a lot of minerals, and pretty much add gases, and hopefully the Protoss on the opposite doesn't actually kill you straight out with a push, which actually he held really well. The Blink Stalkers didn't get up there in time, and he held well, and then he pushed and got the victory.
Yeah, he did indeed. Buying time with sentries, force fielding off the ramp definitely helped him out in that regard. He had that natural up for quite a while. And of course, he had so many Immortals out by the time that push was actually able to hit. So we'll see what happens in game number 2. We're going to be heading into Overgrowth, which we've seen countless times today, I think.